Let me ask you a question. As a leader, do you feel like you need to know everything your team is doing? Every detail, every task, every decision? Because if you don't, something might go wrong. If you've ever felt that pressure, you're not alone. In fact, most leaders fall into this trap. But here's the truth. Trying to know everything can make you a less effective leader. So today we're going to answer that question directly. Do you need to know all the details of your team's work? And more importantly, we're going to talk about what you should focus on instead. The short answer is no. You do not need to know every detail of every task that your team is doing. However, you do need to know the right details. And that's where most leaders get it wrong, because there's a big difference between being informed and being involved in everything. Now I want to provide a personal story and give you an example from my own experience. Early in my leadership career, I thought being a strong leader meant being deeply involved in everything. I reviewed everything, I double-checked decisions, and I stayed close to every moving part, not because I wanted control, but because I thought I was adding value. Over time, something started to happen. My team slowed down, they hesitated before making decisions, and they started to come to me for things they could have handled themselves. And I realized something really important. I wasn't strengthening the team, I was becoming a bottleneck. So I realized I needed to have a shift in thinking, and that's when my mindset changed. Leadership isn't about having all the answers, it's about creating an environment where the right answers can happen without you. Because if your team can't operate without you, then you don't have a team, you actually have a dependency. So that kind of leads us to what should you know as a leader. You need to understand three important things. First, the outcomes. What does success look like? Next, you need to understand the risks, where things can go wrong. And third, you need to know the capabilities of your people. Who can handle what? Notice what's missing? You don't need to know every step in the process. You need to know whether the process is working. So, another personal story, I remember a moment where I made a conscious decision to step back. There was a project I would have normally been deep involved in, but instead I gave clear expectations and I let my team run with it. Was it done exactly the way I would have done it? No. But was it effective? Yes, it was. And more importantly, my team worked together and they grew. They gained confidence and they moved faster and they started owning their own work at a higher level. And that's when I realized letting go wasn't losing control. It was building capability. So how do you actually do this as a leader? There's a few practical steps you can start using right away. Step 1, define outcomes clearly. Even before the work begins, make sure your team knows exactly what you think success looks like. Not just tasks, but the results. Clarify up front that you need constant check-ins or not. Set decision boundaries. Be clear about what decisions your team can make on their own and what needs to come to you as their leader. This creates confidence without chaos. Step 3, ask better questions instead of giving answers. When someone comes to you, resist the urge to solve it for them. Instead, ask them, what do you think we should do? This builds thinking, not dependency. Step 4, create visibility, not control. Use regular check-ins, dashboards, or updates, but don't micromanage to stay informed. You want an awareness without interference. Step 5, accept that it won't look exactly your way. This is the hard one. Your way might be faster, cleaner, or more familiar to you, but leadership isn't about doing things your way. It's about building a team that can deliver the results their way that are the right results. So let's come back to the question. Do you need to know every detail of your team's work? No. What you need is trust and clarity and visibility and the discipline to step back when it matters or step in when it matters. because great leaders don't create dependence, they create capability. And when you focus on the right level of involvement, your team will grow and your organization will get stronger, and your impact as a leader multiplies. This is Level Set Leadership. If this resonated with you, make sure you subscribe. We're putting out new content regularly to help you lead with intention. I'll see you at the next video.